had some really good looks. Luka missed a point blank layup, to put us up 7. I missed a point blank layup to put us up 4. We had a couple of opportunities. I don't think fatigue had anything to do with that. We just missing some point blank shots.
The Lakers are on life support after losing 2 games that, quite frankly, they honestly should have won. Games where they just closed out terribly. And it got to the point where the Lakers knew in that game 4, they knew they had to win that game. It was a season. Season was on the line in that game. JJ Redick played the death lineup, as they call it. All 5 of the same players played the entire second half. And I think it says a few things. For one, I think JJ has done a really good job this year with the Lakers, with what they had to overcome with different scenarios from last season, from bringing in and having these players gel together well when the Luka Doncic trade happened. People forget, like, half the roster has changed in 1 year. That's really tough for a guy that's been a first-time head coach. And I think he's done really good. That regular season's their best regular season since 2020 in the bubble when they won the title. So he did a lot of things really well, but you have to have some sort of second option or punch lineup-wise. You cannot play the same 5 guys, especially when one of them is 40 and needs to be a contributor in the fourth quarter. There's a reason LeBron didn't score in the fourth quarter. It's because he was out of energy. Scored 40 in the previous game, and you're playing a 40-year-old the entire second half. It's just not going to work out. So they probably should have worked someone in. Vanderbilt could have worked him in a little bit. But I think you realize the limitations of this roster. I think you realize the limitations of the depth. They're missing that center. They are. And I think they would have won the next series against Houston or Golden State. I don't know if they would have had the guns to beat the Thunder in 7. They would have taken a few games. Without the center presence, without the depth, it's really tough. I don't understand why they're not playing Dalton Connect. That doesn't make a whole lot of sense to me. They're only playing like 8 guys right now. It'd be more preferable if they were able to play 9, so they were able to get more rest. Dalton Connect could have been, like, they're struggling to score. Why not bring him in, see if he can get hot for a little bit? They have just decided against it. He refuses to play Jackson Hayes. Jackson Hayes is going to be off the team next year. But they're on life support. I think they'll win in LA tomorrow, but they're not coming back from 3-1. They don't have the guns. They don't have the depth. They don't have the roster. I would be shocked if they did. But of course, obviously, upset about it. It's a massive failure for this team to be out in the first round. You were looking at it before. They captured that 3 seed. It looked like they were ahead of schedule for a little bit. And they just ran into Anthony Edwards and this Minnesota team that is actually kind of veteran, more veteran than some of the other teams that they would have, like Houston, looking back at it, would have been the best draw for them, then Memphis, then Golden State. Minnesota, believe it or not, and I thought it was one of their best draws. Minnesota was actually one of their worst draws, and that's just the way it fell. Minnesota is super physical, really good defensive team, kind of everything the Lakers aren't. They're big. They have Rudy Gobert. You're not going to win an NBA title when consisting of that 5-man lineup that played in the second half. I don't think one guy was over 6'8". You cannot win a title with that. You just can't. Not one guy over 6'8" in the entire second half. Just not going to work in the NBA. We know that. Known that for years. Even those Warriors teams, how people talked about small ball, how small they were. First couple of years, they had like Andrew Bogut, who they at least rotationally played. People forget Kevin Durant's 7 feet tall. People forget about that. But he is. So they didn't have They don't have the size to do that. So that's where they're running into their issues. At first, really upset about it, but the more you look at it, this team was always a year away. They wouldn't have been able to beat, I don't think they would have been able to beat the Thunder in a 7-game series. Don't even know if they would have been able to beat the Clippers in a 7-game series. Probably is what my hunch is, but I don't know. The Celtics would have beat this Lakers squad and probably the Cavs at this point. So you're at a point right now where get the offseason. This is actually going to maybe work in their favor. You're not winning series that don't matter in the grand scheme of things. And you're going to be able to, I'm not saying it's over yet. If they blow them out tomorrow and maybe they're able to get that game in Minnesota, all right, let's talk about this possibility of them coming back from 3-1. But I just think they're too gassed at this point. But if you're looking at the future, and I'll make a video about this when it's officially over, but if you're looking at the future, this gives them more time to rest. You need to fill out this roster, get a 7-footer, get an athletic 7-footer. It's what they need to do. But it's not the end of the world. They're going to lose this game. LeBron's going to be back. Luka's going to be in better shape. Remember, Luka had to come in here in the middle of the season. He had to learn it. His roster was out of place. We said from the start there was limitations. We said that from the start. I didn't think they were going to lose this series to Minnesota. I've been wrong before. And me and the betting market and a lot of other analysts were just simply wrong on this. And some of it's got to be given credit to Minnesota. Minnesota has played incredible. The demeanor, the high level of intensity that they've had, the will, Anthony Edwards looking like an absolute star. That's what they've had. They've had that kick. And the Lakers, physicality-wise, haven't been able to match it. JJ Redick's getting out-coached. I think he's done a really good job this year, but of course he's getting out-coached. His first ever year in the NBA playoffs. He was going to get out-coached. He has done a phenomenal job for being a first-year head coach. Remember, he hasn't even been an assistant before this. He's done a phenomenal job for year one. Should be a fringe coach of the year candidate. But you're talking about big-time playoff series. People forget Minnesota was in a conference finals last year. They got a shot. I think Minnesota beats the Rockets or the Warriors, most likely the Warriors. I think they beat the Warriors in the next round just due to physicality, youth. I definitely think they got a shot to do that. They got a shot to go to the finals. They were almost there last year, and people forget they played Luka last year, so they probably left that series saying, okay, we know what we need to do next time when we see Luka, and they've just applied it to this series. And there's certain factors that have hit. Like Lakers should be up 3-1 right now, but Luka had the flu in Game 3, and LeBron got gassed in Game 4. But this Lakers team had its limitations. They're in serious danger right now. Season's on life support. I think they'll win in LA. Not sure if they're going to be able to win that Game 6 in Minnesota. It gets interesting if they can win that Game 6 in Minnesota. It gets very, very interesting if they're able to pull that off. But we will see how it shakes up.